Hello, everyone, and welcome to Makai-World Reviews. This is episode number 72. I am the Eternal Makai, Master of Minds and of Men. We are on week 2 of Harry Dean Stanton month. After the fantastic escape from New York, move our attention to what is a far more Harry-led vehicle. In the 2017 film Lucky, which sadly was officially his last film, along with a small movie in a role called Frank and Ava. Let's go ahead and get into that. I don't want to beat around the bush too much. But of course, please subscribe. Please like. I'm a small channel. I can only grow if an army of morons subscribes to me. And that's you, moron. So go ahead and do it now. Lucky. Directed by John Carroll Lynch. This is the directorial debut of John, mostly known as an actor. I believe I first saw him in the Drew Carey Show, where he played Drew's older brother, as well as in Fargo, where he's Frances McDormand's husband in that. Also quite good in Zodiac, and I think a lot of people probably know him from his role as various characters in the awful American Horror Story seasons. Not a fan, but that's not a slight on him at all. Very interested to watch his directorial debut. I like the guy. Written by Logan Sparks and Drago Sumanja. Hope I'm saying that name correctly. These two are both actors that were in nothing of any real note. And this is their only writing credit, so that's what it is. Nothing else really to say about that. Starring Mr. Harry Dean Stanton, the man of the month. Actor, musician, all-around talent, an actor I genuinely love. He has done so many movies, been in so many TV shows, I couldn't begin to name all of them. I mean, everything from Cool Hand Luke to The Avengers. Huge movies like The Godfather Part 2 and Alien. Some more cult affairs like Wild at Heart and Seven Psychopaths. Just a great actor, a great human being. I'm giving him a month to sing his praises and also listen to his music. It's pretty good. David Lynch is also in this. Not only one of my favorite directors, obviously. He's the man my entire meager internet fame is based off of, as I run a Twin Peaks meme page called Demon Peaks on Instagram. He's David Lynch. He worked with Harry on Twin Peaks, both Fire Walk with Me and The Return, Wild at Heart, The Straight Story, and Hotel Room, I believe Inland Empire as well. Lynch himself has acted in plenty as he's a bit of a character, including not only his own works, but Louie, The Cleveland Show, and Family Guy, among other things. He's David Lynch. He's always welcome. Release date was March 11th, 2017, which came out the same week. Kong, Skull Island. Never understood the fascination with King Kong. Godzilla and numerous other kaiju are far superior in scope and film. Americans have never done giant monster movies well. That being said, this is a fairly competent film, if not totally forgettable. I don't like King Kong. I don't like they have him compete with Godzilla. It's stupid. Godzilla would kill him every time. And the sense of an ending, a rather poignant film about a man's memories, or how memories are often not what you think they are. It's a little long in the tooth, but ultimately a pretty decent film. Moving to the plot, we follow the titular Lucky, a simple man who lives a pretty simple life. He likes milk, goes to his local diner every day, his local grocery store for milk, and his local watering hole every night to drink Bloody Marys with the regulars. And his seeming best friend, Howard. After that, he talks on the phone to an unknown friend before heading off to bed and starts it all over again. It follows his small, wonderful meetings with people at all of those establishments. Things change in Lucky when he suffers a fall following his fascination with a clock that doesn't work on his coffee maker. Becomes a lot more introspective, it seems, after this, and his relationships become a little more sincere, despite being told that even though he smokes nonstop, drinks alcohol and coffee, he's totally healthy. He's just old and getting older. And the body breaks down. At the diner, the people there worry about him, with the waitress even coming to his house to spend time with him. They smoke weed and talks, and he admits he's scared. Lady at the grocery store invites him to her son's birthday. His friends at the bar are worried for him, and genuinely, everyone seems to show he cares. He has a run-in with a man who's trying to sell Howard some life insurance, with a subplot of Howard losing his turtle being a through line in the movie. But eventually the salesman and Lucky come to an understanding about each other. Lucky then talks to a retired Marine, who find out about Lucky's time in the Navy. They trade some harrowing stories. He goes to the birthday party and we learn Lucky speaks some Spanish and sings with a mariachi band. He then heads to the bar and has a philosophical conversation with the people there, how we will all be left with nothing. When asked what we do with nothing, Lucky says, "You smile." He then walks away and continues to live his life, giving us one last smile at the camera, before we see Howard's turtle living its best life as well, walking across the desert, as the film ends. So with the performances in this film, this movie is all about its characters. The plot is fairly, bare bones, but what makes it is the performances. Lucky, Harold Dean Stanton, does an amazing job as Lucky. He is a surly, agitated, bullheaded, but thoughtful, sensitive, pined man. He does such a good job of creating this character that has depth and layers. Simple man with a lot going on behind his eyes. His relationships are genuine, even if they are casual. He treats everyone with a level of respect and animosity that's hard not to respect. He holds them up to some kind of strange morals only really he knows, such as holding a grudge against a long-gone bar. His habits are peculiar, his drinking, smoking, and coffee, all tempered with his strange and hilarious yoga routine, where you really get to see a lot more of Mr. Stanton than I would have ever cared to see. He is talking to getting a pet and gets some crickets, which he promptly sets free outside his house, not wanting to see them become food for something else. He has talents such as his speaking Spanish and incredible singing skills. Harry is a singer in real life, or was. He brings this character really to life. I've met people like Lucky, ones you kind of write off right away until you take the time, sit down and talk to them, and get to know who they really are underneath the first layer of grime. Howard, played by David Lynch, is no secret. David is one of my favorite directors. I mentioned that earlier. Someone I have incredible respect for. He's great here. Lucky's best bud, who always wears a white seersucker suit, a bad tie, and is looking for his turtle Roosevelt. He's soft and sweet and lightly introspective. David is not known for his acting, and he really doesn't add much to the role outside of doing his best. But it's charming, and his facial expressions remain as funny as ever. He, at the end, comes to terms with Roosevelt wanting to be free, but he says he'll leave the gate open for him if he ever wants to return. That being said, it's hard to deny the influence David's work had on this movie. The diners, coffee, and the weird moments where things turn into a Lynch movie, though only briefly, a taunting clock on a coffee pot, a stroll down a strange alley that leads to an unknown exit with some red lights, and some awkward moments. And it's clear and welcome that David maybe even had a hand in some of these scenes helping out. The other characters, from Ed Begley Jr.'s doctor, who was fairly entertaining. I have a sweet spot for Ed, and I don't really know why, but we'll see him again this year in another review. To Tom Skerritt as the Marine, whose story was particularly sad. Pretty much everyone else was really welcome. They all did a good job. James Darren and Beth Grant, the bar owner, and her husband were wonderful characters that I've seen in old dive places. They all felt real, if not entirely fleshed out. But that's all right. What little we get from them only adds to their character, and this is Lucky's story anyhow. The only person I wasn't entirely thrilled with was Ron Livingston. He was the salesman who was trying to sell Howard and vaguely Lucky insurance. I don't buy it. Ron is not a bad actor, but I literally cannot take him seriously. I don't know if Office Space had that profound of an effect on me, because I can take Stephen Root or Gary Cole seriously in roles. Just something about Ron, his face, his voice, his cadence, and the same problem with him on Boardwalk Empire. I do not buy him as an actor, and that's his job. So I don't know, Ron, if you're listening, get it together for me, brother. I want to like you, so change jobs and come back at me, and we can be friends. Soundtrack. As I'm doing this, I'm learning more about soundtracks, how to appreciate them. And for this one, I really got into it. I really enjoy it, how the music enhances the scenes. There's a lot of Hispanic music, which fits the setting and was appropriately layered. As well as, we got some music from Harry himself, including a live performance at the birthday. They also used some Bonnie Prince Billy by way of Johnny Cash, which, I like both of them, so no argument there. Solid soundtrack. This wasn't what I would consider the greatest, but it really helped move scenes and moments along. Overall, Lucky is a movie about moments. Moments with friends and people you care about. Moments with casual acquaintances. Everyone you know can share something little with you. Lucky is not a profound movie. It's not a deep philosophical offering, but it's sincere. It's nice. It's heartfelt. It's a movie about a man who just wants to make connections. He doesn't want to leave nothing behind. He doesn't want to be forgotten. I think we can all relate to that desire. His interactions are reasonable, and he lives in a world not unfamiliar to a lot of us. Routine. But being in a routine isn't bad. It can be good, it can be healthy, and it can bring some comfort to us. I think Lucky is a good movie. It's a sincere movie. I recommend it to anyone who is a fan of Harry Dean Stanton or enjoyed a film like Nebraska. Had a similar feel to me for this. Well, that was Lucky, week 2 of my Harry Dean Stanton month. What did you think about Lucky? His drink of choice was Bloody Marys. What's yours? Let me know down below. Please like, please subscribe. Go to my Patreon. Tell me what you want me to review. Hit me up on Instagram under Demon Peaks, where, like I said, I do daily Twin Peaks memes. Don't forget to check out Dark Peaks podcast. Podcast with me and another guy talk about crack and general mutilation. Next week, more Harry, more Dean, more Stanton. We look at Repo Men. This has been the Tony Makai, Master of Minds and Men. Thank you very much, and goodbye.